Welcome to the Positive Pants Podcast. Mindset, motivation and inspiration to help you find your positive pants. It's time to let go of negative thinking, understand why you do what you do and stop the self-sabotage with your host, Fran Excel.
Welcome to the show. As always, it's Fran Excel, your resident subconscious success mentor, helping you find your very own pair of positive pants so you can get out of your own way and live a life that you love. If you want to stop self-sabotaging your own success and let go of the stress, then you are in the right place, my friend. Make sure you download your free Stressed to Success guided meditation at bit.ly/stress to success as my little gift to you just for being here. Please do subscribe, share and review. It really, really helps people that need to hear this message find us, and I so appreciate it. In the show notes, you'll also find details of how you can work with me and where you can get your mitts on my meditations, products, printables, programs. You can find it through the link in my bio on Instagram, which is my favourite place to hang out. So please do come join me over there at I'm Fran Excel. Tag me in your takeaways, slide into my DMs. I'm here for it. So that's the formalities over, my love. So let's jump to the content. It may or may not have escaped your attention, but if you're on my email list, you already know I missed my first podcast since 2018. I totally lost my voice for a whole week, and it's kind of an essential tool when it comes to recording audio. So apologies, but I'm back. Not 100% firing on all cylinders, so please forgive me if there's a cough that I don't edit out or a little clearing of my throat. But it ended up being a happy turn of events because had I recorded this episode when I was meant to, I wouldn't have had the glorious opportunity to bring the new kid on the block into the mix. Meta's new social platform, Threads, the new kid on the block that it feels like everyone is talking about, right? And if you haven't heard, where are you living? But it's basically Meta's new version of Twitter. So I'll touch on that a little in a moment. So, for the context of this episode, it may or may not have also escaped your attention, but I've been on a bit of a social media hiatus for quite some time. I've not really been online at all for a number of months, either posting or scrolling, the important bit, because it's really easy to come off social media as a hiding mechanism, right? But I haven't been doing either, and it's been very nice. There were various reasons why that started, and in all honesty, it wasn't 100% intentional at first. I was just doing what I do and listening to what my mind and body needed in the midst of the glorious chaos that I have been managing personally. And in all honesty, it's been one of the best things that I've done for myself, and I want to talk about why I've done it and why I think it's been so good. And if you've been listening for a while, you'll know that the last year-ish has been quite the personal roller coaster, which annoyingly I still can't really talk about, but oh, it'll be worth it when I can. There have been so many lessons learned and so much growth, but it has meant that I have felt like I can't really show up and be authentic on social media most of the time. And if I can't be totally authentic, I honestly don't see the point. If I'm not having fun with it and being genuine, I'd just rather not. In all honesty, in spite of any ramifications in terms of audience and revenue and all that stuff, I'm all for being a human being first. Now, I'm still showing up on emails every single Wednesday and here every single Monday. Obviously, you know that because you're listening, and please disregard last Monday. Insinuation circumstances. Because those two places feel really good and authentic to me right now. I've always done my best to make sure that anything I put out is authentic to me at that time. And I don't want to feel like I'm hiding things, because at the end of the day, this whole podcast is about being able to share lessons and knowledge around how to live better, think better, behave better as a human, right? There's also some very practical, in inverted reasons, inverted commas, reasons why it'll all become clear eventually as to why I haven't wanted to be online, right? You're just going to have to trust me on that. You have to think about what social media is training into your brain as well. Like, this is the other reason that it was like, actually, this is probably a good experiment, because you have to acknowledge that social media is training you to have a shorter and shorter attention span. It's getting you addicted to the little dopamine hits that come with likes and follows and a feeling of inclusion and belonging. And it's also getting you addicted to that hideous feeling when that doesn't happen too. That's just as addictive in a different way. It's training you into distraction and procrastination. It's training you to not be present. It's training you to use significant amounts of your precious time doing essentially nothing, but perhaps comparing yourself to random strangers on the internet who aren't giving you all sides of the story, and then you feel like you don't have any of that time left, right? It's training you to not prioritize being out in nature, with people, reading books, to be removed from what's going on where and when you actually are. It's training you to value the thoughts and opinions of people you've never met before your own. And I feel like I have all of this stuff back, right? Which is glorious. I feel more balanced, calm, in control. Now, all of this stuff sounds super ominous, and it is, right? If you're not consciously aware of how you choose to use and engage with it, because let's be honest, for all its fault, it can be fun. Social media can connect you to people you wouldn't have been able to be connected with previously. As a child of the 80s and 90s, I remember what it was like not having that. A time before mobile phones and the era of snail mail. It was a beautiful thing. But I also remember what it meant if friends moved away, or if you moved schools, or if you moved away. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm so grateful I experienced it and grew up in that environment. I'm simply saying I can see the benefits in spite of the obvious negatives. With social media and the interwebs, it means you can stay connected to people far away. You can connect to people with similar interests from across the globe that might have been really difficult to find in your local place. It's that local versus global, right? You can have long distance relationships. You can get jobs in weird and wonderful places. That means you can still do all of this stuff, right? So there are positives. I'm not bashing it. But you have to be intentional when using and prioritizing your energy and emotional resources, which is a really, really important bit. It's so important. You can very easily lose yourself to the dopamine hits on social media. I've seen a lot of celebrities and influencers come out and talk about the negative effect that feeling like they have to be online all the time is having on them. And I've seen a lot of people leave, right? How other people's opinions are affecting them negatively, because let's be honest, social media really can be the cesspit of human behavior at times. So knowing how and when to protect yourself is essential. You're a human being, not a robot. And it's so important to be able to listen to your mind and body and do what's right for you. And often that might mean a break. You know, I've seen lots of celebrities and influencers taking breaks and coming back when they feel better in themselves. And I'm glad that they're modeling that that is possible. So I'd love for you to see that as evidence that the world doesn't implode if you do what's right for you. We've got to be conscious of what we're making the things that we do mean. There's no judgment to be made either way if you're not judging yourself for it. We only fear the judgments we're already making ourselves. So get that in check and you'll be able to make much clearer decisions. And this is guess what? Where self-awareness comes into play. Shock, horror, me talking about self-awareness again. But if you know what your values and priorities really are, it makes it so much easier. This includes all the unconscious stuff at play behind your decisions. So asking yourself, what feels authentic and good to you? So for example, for me at the moment, what feels authentic and good to me is my email list and the podcast. How do you measure success? How do you measure worth? Where do you see your mental and physical health in your priorities? Is it at the top, like it is for me nowadays? Or is it kind of more towards the bottom? If you need to take a break, take a break. Figure out how you can make that happen. Don't just listen to all the ways that it can't. Figure out, how can I make this happen? And then monitor the changes in you. Go back if and when you feel like it. So then we need to have a little chat about Threads, really, don't we? The success of Threads so far shows that people are craving change. You know, it's more like a group chat. It's friendlier at the moment. It's slightly unnerving How many people are talking about how it's more fun over there and they feel like they can be themselves rather than a curated version of that? Because what is that telling you? That the majority of what you're seeing on social media is curated, right? That it's BS, that it's not authentic. And then you're comparing yourself to that. Like, it's good that feeling of safety is over there for now. But I think that also tells you a heck of a lot about how much is being forced and fake over on other platforms, which is definitely food for thought when you find yourself in a little comparison trap, right? So with Threads, it's all about intention. Don't feel like you have to jump on the bandwagon or you'll get left behind. Be aware of the addictive dopamine that will be coming out to play. Think of dopamine as a reinforcer, right? It's the reward chemical, but think about it as reinforcing something else. And notice how you feel when using or perusing. Does it feel fun and expansive to you? Does it feel authentic to you? If you're having fun, have fun. And if you're not, leave. If you're feeling all those same like blame, shame, all of that rubbish that comes along with sometimes being on social media, if you're not feeling that, leave. So much of our happiness in this life comes from our own conscious awareness of ourselves, our behavior, thoughts, and feelings. And the same is absolutely true of social media. Don't beat yourself up for giving yourself what you need and being honest about what you don't. And for me, it's been one of the best things that I've given myself permission to do. It has made a world of difference in a time that has been quite chaotic, and you just have to do what needs to be done to take one step in front of the other and handle what's there. And it's increased certain things in my life like presence, authenticity, calm, time, peace, and so much more at a time when all of those things were needed for me. You know, we all have these seasons in life and it feels like the definition of staying in your own lane, right? And it might give you something different. It's all about intention. I've absolutely zero interest in any falseness or fakery of any kind. So if you do come and chat to me over on Threads, please don't do it from a perspective of like, I'm trying to show my expertise here. Just have a chat. It's not something I like or am comfortable with in my own world. And I see it a mile off as an Enneagram 6. So I've joined Threads to see if it will be a place with more authenticity and maybe I'll find it fun. And I'm dipping my toe back in the water. Who knows? That's the beauty. You get to choose. And I'm loving knowing that I'm the one in control of my boundaries, time and energy. And I get to choose to go back if and when feels right for me, where feels right for me. And in the meantime, I'm going to enjoy the connection I feel here and over on my email list. So I hope it's given you a little bit of food for thought. But I want to be honest about why I'm not on there because, you know, I get a lot of messages from people asking, are you okay? I'm okay. I just have other priorities right now. So you get to do that too. Don't ever forget that. It's really easy to see people being online all the time and doing the thing that they do and making assumptions about what that means for that person's life. Your life is unique and individual. You are unique and individual and nuanced. Okay? So you do you, boo. So if you got value from this and you know in your gut that now is the time to step up and start rewiring your thinking and start changing things for yourself, then join the Positive Pants Toolkit app and community so you can work out what needs to happen to get you from where you're at right now to the action-taking success you know you can be. And if you want my eyes and ears on your problems, then I work with people one-on-one and through my programs. You can find all the details to join the toolkit or book in a call in the show notes, the link in my bio on Instagram, and on my website, franexcel.com. So stop waiting for if and when and choose to change things now because you can. I'm here to believe in you when you don't believe in yourself. And as always, I hope you found this helpful and I'll see you next week. Bye.